You can love yourself exactly as you are.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Hello and welcome to the Hopefulist. Thank you for grabbing a daily dose of inspiration and positivity. Today's quote of the day comes from Albert Camus, and it says, "Real generosity toward the future lies in giving all to the present." There we go. All right, that one is done. We are good. Got the quote of the day, and also, it's Grateful Monday. You know what that means. That means that I read to you a few entries from my own personal gratitude journal to show you how easy and simple it can be to keep a gratitude journal that will indeed change your whole outlook of life. Oh, yes. Couple of things I was grateful for this week. You guys let me have a sick day. I was very appreciative of that. I spent the day sleeping on and off, recuperating, reading, and watching television. It did the trick. Finally feeling better and on the mend. So thank you all for that. I got a new camo pullover that is just to die for. I love it. It's like my favorite article of clothing right now. I got to go to book club with my girls this week. Haven't been able to do that in quite a while with all of the restrictions and such in place. So we had a nice outdoor, socially distant book club gathering. I got a text from a friend of mine about a particular podcast that I had done, telling me how much she enjoyed it. That's always a little perker-upper. Love when people take the time to do stuff like that. And yesterday, my hubby and I had a nice, relaxing day watching football. I will not get into the results of the football games. All I can say is we're not as bad as the Giants. When I say we, I mean the Eagles, because that's who I root for. But we're pretty close. We're pretty close. We're not 0-3, but we have yet to win a game. Going to be a long year. You know what? I said this last week. I'll say it again. I don't care. I'm just happy to have a normal fall routine of sitting in front of the television, watching some football. Would I like them to win? Of course. That would make it more enjoyable. But the last 2 weekends, we have just relaxed and watched the games. Together, by the way, which is also something to be grateful for. For the first 7 or 8 years that Joe and I were together, he worked Sundays, which left me on my own to watch football. You know, he does root for a different team than I do, but it's still better than watching it completely by myself. I typically watch the TV with the Eagles game, and he will watch the Giants on his iPad. And the reason that he is delegated to the iPad is because he grew up in the same town as me. He should, by all means, be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But he decided he wanted to be a little bit different. He was going to root for the Giants. Not only not the home team, but one of our big rivals. So when the games are on at the same time, you know, when we lived in Pennsylvania, it was an easier decision because we didn't get the Giants game. If the Eagles game was on, that's what they show. But here at the Jersey Shore, we get both Philadelphia channels and New York channels. So we do have the option of watching one or the other. But I say, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, I say he should be an Eagles fan. And if it comes down to having to choose between one or the other, I say that it's Eagles every time because he should be watching the Eagles anyway. Is that an excuse? Yeah, probably. I have offered to go into the bedroom to watch my game before, and he's like, "No, I'm totally fine watching it on the iPad." Puts his headphones in, his earbuds in, and he watches it. Well, and he also keeps an eye on what's going on in my game. So, when they're separate games, obviously we watch them both if we can at separate times. So the interesting thing is we're going away in a couple of weeks. And the first matchup of the Eagles and the Giants will be while we're away, like a Thursday night game, prime time. I'll have to make sure that he can't find any of his Giants gear for this trip. I'm kidding, of course, because that's half his wardrobe, which, I have bought. I joked with him when we first got together, our first Christmas. I said, "You're not looking at the tags. You're just ripping open presents." He goes, "Well, they're all from you." I'm like, "Oh, no, they're not. Because your wife would never buy you Giants gear. Santa might, but your wife would never." So he does have a lot of Giants gear. What do you get a guy that has just about everything? You get him sports gear. You get him, a way for him to represent his team. So I have a lot of Eagles stuff, too. It's okay. We had a really fun weekend. We had our annual neighbor barbecue. This is the 4th year that we've done this. This is the 4th summer that we have lived in this house. And if you're not familiar with the Jersey Shore area, our houses are so close. So close. I mean, like literally 10 to 15 feet away. So we know our neighbors intimately. A little too intimately at times. And so, often I can hear conversations that they're having inside their own house. If my windows are open and their windows are open, I can hear the conversation, especially when it's outside. We live on the water, and you may or may not know this, but the water is a sound amplifier. I can literally hear conversations that are going on 5 houses away across the water. Just travels. Sound just travels over water. So crazy. So we know our neighbors pretty well. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to get everybody together because we have some neighbors that we chat with across the water. And then we have neighbors, on other sides. And then we have neighbors across the street. So we get them all together once a year. We've been adding people every year. I think it started, we were just talking about this. I think the first year there was only like 4 houses that we invited. Like our direct neighbors, one over from then, and then the older gentleman that lives across the water. And then now we invite his neighbor across the water and then some other people from across the street. And, more people are moving in. So everybody enjoys it. Everybody says it's always nice to get together. I posted a picture of our group. I think there was about 15 or 16 of us this year. I posted a picture of our group gathering in our community group page, and someone had mentioned, "Oh, that's so nice. I wish somebody on my street did this every year." And I said, "Well, if you organize and host, they will come," because I was the one that started it, and everybody looks forward to it every year. So it's just something really fun, something to look forward to, a way for us to all catch up and complain about the neighbors that we don't like. There's always a little bit of that in there, right? So that was a good time. And like I said, yesterday we just kind of relaxed, ate a lot of leftover food, and watched our football teams flounder and fall. And yeah, it's just not going to be the season we had hoped for. The topic for today, I wanted to know, what do you prefer, McDonald's or Burger King? Oh, for me, it is a no-brainer. McDonald's all the way. Love me some McDonald's. My husband surprised me on Friday. I was asking him, "Well, what would you like to do for dinner tonight?" Because we had a lot of stuff to do to get ready for the barbecue. And he's been working a lot of long hours the last couple of weeks. God bless him. And I said, what would you like for dinner? I'll go pick up whatever you want. He's like, why don't we just have McDonald's? And I was like, what? Because he doesn't really like McDonald's. I love McDonald's. Quarter pounder with cheese. That's good crap food. Delicious crap food. And I said, what? He's like, you know what? It's quick and easy. I was like, all right, if you insist on McDonald's, I will go along. So I've always been a big fan of McDonald's. We have had the Burger King in our neighborhood just close within the last couple of weeks. So we don't even have a Burger King in our area anymore. So it's kind of an even split. We have a bunch of cheaters as usual. People throwing out choices that were not one of the choices, like Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, both, neither. Okay, it's a or question. McDonald's or Burger King. Not throwing your favorite fast food joint. So, and now we even got one for Carl's Jr. They do a lettuce wrap burger. There are no Carl's Jr.'s around here. None. Not around here. David says a double Whopper with cheese, large fry, and large Coke on Whopper Wednesday. He says my cardiologist likes Burger King too. Yeah. Now Michelle says pre-vegan was McDonald's. Now I prefer Burger King since they have the Impossible Burger. It's still cheating, but not as bad. Okay. Beverly says Burger King Whopper with cheese with McDonald's fries right out of the fryer. Well, that's making a couple of trips for you there, Beverly. Jim says nothing beats flame broiled in my book. Give me a Whopper any day with cheese, please. Eleanor says Burger King for hamburgers, Chick-fil-A for chicken. Dawn says Burger King, but no one besides me likes it, so I have to go without. Probably not the worst thing. Linda says I am not a big fan of fast food, though I have recently fallen in love with Chick-fil-A. Larissa says not a big fan of either, but definitely McDonald's French fries. We had taken my brother when we were on the way in Colorado to Popeyes for their spicy chicken sandwich. Actually, he didn't get the spicy chicken sandwich. He got something else. But he had said, I never really go to Popeyes. We don't have one around where we live. I try to have a rule when we go away that we try to eat local. We try to eat what's that area is famous for, or patronize the local places so that we can experience something we can't experience anywhere else. We try to do that. We were in Colorado for a number of days, so we had plenty of opportunities to test around. But there were a few times that we went to chains, but I gave ourselves a pass because they are not available where we live. So it's not like we can just go get a Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich anytime we want, because we can't. We also went to Red Robin. Oh, love me a Red Robin burger. They're so good. If you've never had a Red Robin burger, try it. You will be in love. There is a reason that their little tagline is yum, because they're yum. So it looked like, to me, the winner of my little informal poll, McDonald's by an edge. Just an edge. The blog post for today, love who you are. Sounds impossible, right? I know. Been there. Still doing it. I put up a little picture of me that I took not that long ago. And there is so much I could pick apart about the picture. We all tend to focus on what we don't like, right? Oh, the wrinkles on my forehead, that lovely H in between my eyebrows. Speaking of eyebrows, where are they going? I used to have full eyebrows. Now there only seems to be half. I also seem to have a lazy eyelid. One is always lower than the other in pictures. I mentioned that to my husband. He's like, I've never even noticed it. But what if I focused on what I liked about the photo instead? I have a pretty genuine smile on my face. My eye color, it's really popping. I love my curls now after hating them for most of my life. I like my hair color, and thank goodness, because I spend a fortune on it. Plus, a new sweater, which is why I took a picture in the first place. It's not my camo sweater that I was mentioning earlier. It is a different sweater. This is something I actually bought earlier in the summer, and I haven't really been able to wear it because it has not been sweater season. But, oh, that is a change-in. That is a change-in. If we learn to shift our focus to what we like, or dare I say, love about ourselves, we can be more kind about those things we may not like. We all have certain things we don't like about ourselves, but there are things, whether you want to admit it or not, that you do like about yourself. There has to be. Even if it's something as simple as the color of your eyes, or maybe it's that you have great nails. I've always been grateful that I'm pretty well proportioned. Even when I put some weight on, it kind of spreads all over my body instead of just gathering in one or two specific spots. I mean, it really does go to the thighs pretty quickly and the butt. But, anyway, for the most part, I'm pretty well proportioned. But what if we strip it down even further? Let's focus on the things that we take for granted every day. The fact that we have a body that moves when we tell it to. That we have all of our parts and they are in working order. I'll tell you one thing. You will appreciate how well you can move once you can't. Sprained my ankle at the beginning of the summer. It's still not right. I'm still afraid to do too much for fear I will injure it further. It is very limiting. And it makes me realize I have taken my own movement for granted all this time. For the women of this country, body image seems to be a big issue. Even when we look great, we still find ways to pick ourselves apart. What do I mean? Well, have you seen a picture of your younger self looking fit and fine and remember thinking at the time how fat you were? Even when we look fantastic, we think we don't look good enough. So start now. Start appreciating what you have and how you look. And if you want to change, then start implementing changes slowly so they stick. There is so much more to be grateful for than to be unsatisfied with if we are looking at the right things. We also tend to have issues with our personality or how we handle things in life. I have been very hard on certain aspects of my personality through the years. There is always room for improvement. Do not get me wrong. But we have to just stop being so hard on ourselves. Once again, change your focus to what you do like. Your focus is your reality. Perception is your reality. If you spend all day calling yourself fat and lazy, you will continue to think that about yourself and have no motivation to change. But if you focus on the fact that you can still move your body or able to make changes you want to see happen, it's the same with aspects of your personality. If we feel we are harsh and quick to judge people, we will do more of it. But if we are also loyal, forgive easily, and give the benefit of the doubt, we can focus on those aspects. We can always change the things we don't like about ourselves, but there is always something to like about ourselves right now. I would like you to find 10 personality traits that you like about yourself and write them down. We will use them tomorrow. I will start. Here's my list. I'm outgoing. I'm ambitious. I'm fun, or so people tell me. I can find the bright side now. Took me a long time to get there. I am honest. I am loyal. I love to be around people. I'm active and like to find new activities. I'm eager to learn new things. And I try to see all sides of a situation. I will admit it took me a little bit longer to come up with this list than I had hoped. I'm sure I could have come up with a list of things I didn't like about myself much quicker and easier. That is what we are trying to change. Focus on the good, and more good will come. So make your list, and we will work on how we see ourselves all this week. We will talk about self-image, body image, how we see ourselves in professional settings, and the type of spouse and parent we are. Get ready to dig in. Get ready to love yourself, because that's truly where it all starts. I heard that for years and years and years. You can't be happy. You can't be fulfilled. You can't live a great life until you love yourself. It is the truth. I am here to testify. Oh, it is Monday. You know it is my favorite day of the week after Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Brand new week full of possibilities and opportunities. Let's make the most of them. And of course, be your badass self. You know I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Don't forget, 10 traits that you love or like about yourself. Write them down.